And we back in this thing like we left something. Welcome back, y'all, to this week's episode of I Got a Story to Tell. Thank y'all for joining me again for another week and another story. Y'all know how I do. Before we get going, I got to give someone their flowers. And this week I'm giving flowers to my Aunt Sabrina. Aunt Sabrina, I love you and I miss you. I know you're watching down over us. I really miss the dope, funny, super funny person that you were. Everything about you was awesome. I used to love when we would get out of school for the summer and go to Alabama for 2 weeks. I always look forward to going to see you and staying with you. You were the baby of all the aunts and uncles, so you and I were closer in age. And we loved going to your crib because we could stay up late. You had all the movies on VHS. It was just always a good time. And even going into adulthood, I loved our conversations. Even down to the last conversation we had when you came up to Cincinnati to visit that last time. Who knew that would be the last time I would ever speak to you or see you in person? I miss you, though. I really, really miss you. And I know, like I said, you're watching down over us, but I also know that you're going through life with us. Your spirit never dies. It just keeps moving around. So, Auntie Sabrina, I love you. I miss you. Rest in peace. And with that being said, y'all, I got a story to tell. Let's go. So, this story takes place late 2006. That's two zeros and a 6. I've been living back in Cincinnati at this time about a year. I lived in Tampa from 01 to 05. And I still was very depressed because I never had any intentions on ever moving back home to Cincinnati. When I left for college in September of 1996, I always said I'll never live here. Like, I'll come back to visit my mom and all that, but I never planned on moving back to Cincinnati. So at the time, like I said, it's late 2006, and I'm depressed, but I'm kind of coming out of my depressed state that I was in, right? Kind of coming to grips with the fact that I'm here now. I better make the best of it, but I don't plan on staying too much longer, right? At the time, I'm living in a loft downtown on Central Parkway called the Hale Justice Loft. And when I moved home to Cincinnati, the exact date was August 26th of 2005. I moved home back in the crib with my mom when I moved home. I moved back in that August, and I moved down into my spot December of that year. So like I said, this is late 2006. And like I said, I'm coming to grips with it. So also around this time, I started to discover that I had this like creative bug inside of me, right? Like, I've never been an artist, like, you know, been able to draw or paint decent. I can draw and color and stay in the line, stuff like that, right? Never been like a poet. I've wrote poems before, but never like that, right? But what I did always love is music, right? Any style, genre of music, whatever. I've always loved music. Hip hop, probably my favorite. And so around this time, I got cool with a cat. We called him PC. Problem Child was his moniker he went by, but we was real tight. And so me and PC started running real, like, we was thick as thieves around this time. PC was hustling. Him and all the rest of his crew was hustling. Everybody's type was hustling. And they used to do their thing down in Uptown Towers. Now, Uptown Towers, when I was young, was like kind of like a retirement home, like low income retirement type place. But when I got older, it turned into like, low income housing, almost a project. And it was like twin towers, right? And so they used to do their thing there in Uptown Tower. So I'd go hang out with them, chill, whatever, get cool. Now, PC and I would have a lot of conversations because he always had this drive and this goal of being a rapper. And so he would like spit little stuff for me and I'd be like, oh, okay, that's dope, or work on that or whatever. He always valued my opinion. I was older than he was. And so one day we over there chilling. Him, Tayway, all of them, they over there smoking and all that. Now I didn't smoke, so they would always be like, nah, or anytime anybody was new that was over there with them and they were smoking and they would go to hand me the weed, they always be like, nah, Mike don't smoke, nah. Like they looked at me like that, like, nah, don't give him that. And so I would be over there, we would have a good time, we would talk a lot. Tayway could really sing. Like he was a singer more so than anything. PC was a rapper. And so this cat named Fred he didn't live down there, but he was in a studio in another apartment. So our other boy T, who used to like really hustle, he had turned one of the apartments into the trap where he kept all his work and a studio. So we would go over there from time to time, just hang out. So one day we go over there. PC like, man, I'm about to go over here to the studio. I got these bars I need to get out. I'm about to let it go. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So we go over there. He get in the booth. The booth was this closet that they had turned into, a recording, like a mic. Mic stand in there, good mic with the, the little pop thing on it, to cover the mic. They had the little eggshell things on the wall. It was like legit. Fred would be in the other room, all the machines and whatnot making beats. So my boy PC go over there, he get in the booth, he drops some heat. I'm like, damn, okay, he's kind of fresh, right? So he comes out, he like, Mike, how that sound? Like, dope. Everybody like, yeah, that's nice. So PC like, hey Mike, go on get in there and show him what you got. I'm like, oh no, I don't rap. Even though secretly at the crib, I've been writing little rhymes and shit down, right? I've been writing little stuff down. I'm like, man, one day I'm going to get in the booth just to see what it's like. Just to see how it goes. So, we chilling a little bit longer. Finally, we dip out. We go get something to eat. We come back. Everybody chilling around the studio. People smoking. It's not really my scene like that. So, I'm like, man, I'm about to be up out. So, they like, all right. So as I'm going out the door, these three young cats at the door. So I'm thinking they come to record something. Cause, my boy T would charge little young cats in the area, like $25 an hour. They'd come record. Whatever, just give them somewhere to record. And so I'm like, man, let me stay in here and see what they drop. Let me see if they got bars. But when they came in, they wasn't coming to record. They was coming to cop some work from my boy T. So my boy, he served them, give them what they came for, whatever. I'm like, oh shit, okay. So my boy PC like, yeah, them little young niggas come all the way over, from where they stay at in Kentucky, the cop work and going on back. Now Cincinnati sits right over the bridge from Kentucky, so we're not that far. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So I leave. Next few days, I'm over there hanging out a little bit. So one day, me and PC, we out chilling. We walking around. He like, man, you think you can spit something? I'm like, nah, that ain't really me. He's like, man, rapping ain't that hard. He's really trying to tell me. Now, again, secretly at the crib, I've been writing shit, right? So I convince myself. I say, next time we go over there, shit, I'm gonna ask, can I get in the booth? Fuck it. I'm gonna try to surprise myself. Now, what I've been writing at the crib, I've been, putting in my mind and kind of saving it in my head, right? So, go over there one day. PC like, man, I got some bars I need to drop. So he go over, he drop. So I'm like, hey, let me hop in there. So everybody is weak. They laughing their ass off. They like, oh shit, we got to see this. Now they all used to fuck with me. Like, oh, this nigga from the Fay Apartments. Cause, our hoods was pretty far away from each other. But it was always all love. Just joking and shit. So they like, man, let's hear what these Fay niggas be talking about. So I go in the booth. The beat come on. I'm like, oh, shit. I'm nervous. Oh, nigga, my heart pounding. So I drop. I say whatever I said, whatever that was. And I'm feeling good. I come out. Everybody's face is like, damn, for real, Mike? I'm like, that shit was kind of whack, huh? They like, no, that shit was fire. I'm like, word? They like, word. They was like, hey, like, you should start doing this a little more. I'm like, for real? They like, yeah. So I'm like bitten by the bug of, all right, nigga, I'm about to make some raps. So I start like writing little shit. I would go to crib, write shit, try to like, you know, put it in my mind, remember it, memorize it and shit like that. So I'm coming up with little shit. So I go back over there another day. They like, hey, go in there, Mike, see what you got. I go, drop, I come out, they like, oh yeah, this nigga got it. This nigga got it. So I'm like, damn. So I start getting more confident. So my boy T, who owns the studio, me and him talking one day, he like, Mike, man, I want somebody to like out the crew to make it. You know what I'm saying? He was like, man, this could be our shot, man. He was like, man, I can't keep hustling and shit. Like he had all these dreams and aspirations of, man, I'm trying to be done with this hustling shit. He had started paying for his girlfriend to go to nursing school. He was like, man, I'm trying to go legit. I'm trying to make everybody, you know, get right and all that shit. He was like, man, I can't hustle like forever. Now T was older than me. He was probably about 3 or 4 years older than me. He was like, man, I gotta get this shit together. So I could hear it in his voice, like, man, he want to do right. So every day we going over there to the studio. Cats coming in, copping work, they leave. It's back to recording, people having fun. But again, I was never the type that I want to sit around all day and, you know what I'm saying, niggas posted up with their pistols and smoking weed and all that. That's not my shit, right? So I would come over, spend a hot second, drop some bars or something if I get in there, and I'm out. And so one day, I'm talking to my boy, Kev, a.k.a. DJ Kev Nash, a.k.a. L Keys, a.k.a. Lil Kev. I'm talking to my boy L Keys. He say, Moose, because that's what he called me, Moose. He say, hey, now, he and I have been talking. He knew I had been, you know, doing little shit in the like, rapping and having fun with my friends or whatever. He say, hey, Moose. I say, what up? He say, me and my boy Jay Rand trying to put a mixtape together. He was like, man, maybe you and one of your boys can hop on it or something. I'm like, word? He like, word. I'm like, all right, let me holler at my people. So I reach out to my boy T. I'm like, hey, this is what's going on. My boy is a DJ up in Dayton, Ohio. Him and his boy Jay Rand, they putting a mixtape together. You know, if they fuck with it, we can get on there. He like, I bet. So this is like an opportunity to him. He's hyped. So he says, hey, we got to come up with a hot beat. He's like, nigga, me and you gonna do the song. I say, all right, bet, cool, let's do it. So he reached out to Fred. Fred is the producer. He's like, Fred, this is what it is. We need a beat. For about 2 weeks, we could not agree on a beat. One day, I am walking. I'm downtown. I'm actually about to go to this spot called Izzy's. I'm about to go get me some potato pancakes. I get a call on the cell phone. My boy T say, hey, Fred just let me hear this beat. Nigga, it's the beat. You gotta come over and hear it. I say, all right, bet. So I'm like, hey, I'm about to run by Izzy's, and I'm gonna be over there. He like, all right, bet. So I go to Izzy's. Walking over there to Uptown Towers, I'm eating my potato pancakes with spicy mustard. Get up there. I hear the beat. I'm like, oh shit. This is fire. The beat is fire. It has like the sample is like some guy, like some Middle Eastern guy saying whatever he's saying. But it sounds like, which we know is not English, but it sounds like he's saying, pick it up. So we like, oh, let's go with it. So now we're, okay, let's write, let's get it figured out. It took us about a day, and we got it done. So I call my boy L Keys. I say, nigga, we got it. I was like, I'm gonna shoot it to you. You just let me know, yay or nay. If you cool with it, you know, you want to put it on there, cool. If not, I understand. I get it. Nothing personal. I get it. He like, all right. My boy hits me up on a Sunday. He say, Moose. I say, yeah. He say, nigga, this shit cold. He say, nigga, it's on. I said, bet. So I call my boy T. I say, hey, my boy say it's a go. We on there. We good. He like, all right, bet. So, probably maybe 2 or 3 days later, he was like, we got to get everything, mixed, mastered, official, all that shit, right? So we get that taken care of. That weekend, he like, hey, nigga, we going out to celebrate. I say, all right, let's go celebrate. He's like, I'm going to pick you up. We're going to go to the Syndicate. The Syndicate is a club, like a bar club type spot over in Kentucky. So we go. Before we get out the car, he has a copy of the song, like a copy of the CD, the song we made. He has it in a disc, and like in the little CD case thing. He was like, hey, I'm about to put this $100 bill in here. Whoever's spinning records, I'm going to give it to him. Tell him I need this played like 3 times in a row. It's like, all right, bet. He like, nigga, we about to celebrate. It's like, man, this could be my only shot to get right. I was like, okay. That's all he was big on. His shot to get right. Get legal. So we go inside. There's people in there. Everybody vibing, having a good time. Me and him, he buy both of us a drink. We drinking, we talking. He like, man, I really hope this, do what it's supposed to do. I can go legal again. This could be my one shot, man. I'm like, all right, bet. So while we were standing there, he was like, man, let me take this to the DJ. So he goes to the DJ, whispers something in his ear, yada, 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 hand him the CD. Dude open up, it's a $100 bill. DJ, he's showing his love on the mic, yada, yada, yada. He throws the CD on. I'm like, okay, let me see how the people react to it. My thing is, the beat is so fire for the time. Now, if you played the shit now, it would sound so dated. But I'm like, the beat so far, they gotta move to it. They gotta dance to it. They may not be able to tell what we talking about before. So he throws it on. Few people moving a little bit. I'm like, oh shit, this shit might be whack. I'm thinking to myself. He played a second time, run it back. Y'all know how nigga, make it go backwards. Like he rewind the shit, right? Play it again. People dancing, they jugging, they feeling it now. I'm like, okay then, shit, that's what's up. So I'm hyped. So my boy T hype, he like, hell yeah. He's like, I'm about to send this nigga another 100. He gonna play it again. He's like, and we celebrating all night. He's like, I got a pocket full of hundreds, which he did. He was like, man, I'm about to ask old girl how much for 100 shots of Patron. So he buys 100 shots of Patron. They all lined up on the bar. My boy goes up to the DJ booth, gets the microphone. If y'all partying with us tonight, we got a hit on our hands, drinks on us, come get a shot of Patron, yada, 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 all that shit. Man, it's a ball. It's a blast. We having a great time. I'm feeling great. I'm like, man, this dude got it. We got a hit, man. That's what we feeling. We come up out of the Syndicate when it closed down. And he and I are sitting outside on the curb. We're drunk, filled with joy. We happy. We talking. He like, man, Mike, I appreciate you. He's like, this is a dope opportunity. He was like, I don't know how to repay you. I don't know how to thank you. He's like, man, I'm just trying to do right. He's like, and I know this is the move to fix shit. I'm like, okay, that's what's up. He's like, man, you hungry? I'm like, yeah. He's like, let's go get something to eat. Now, the only thing open to eat at the time is Gold Star Chili. We go to Gold Star. We got the CD. That shit loud. Oh, we got it on repeat. We loving life. He was like, all right, man, let's be out. We get our food and we go back downtown Cincinnati. Like I say, right across the bridge. So he had a house in Western Hills, but from time to time he would stay at his spot, you know what I'm saying, where he did his thing at the little trap in Uptown Tower. So I asked him, I said, hey, you going to the crib tonight or you staying down in the spot? He was like, I want to drive to the crib. He was like, but I'm faded. I don't even feel like dealing with it. He was like, I'm just going to stay at the spot. He was like, you more than welcome to crash on the couch. I'm like, all right, I'm going to crash on the couch. We get out the car, and as we walking toward the door, I'm like, shit. I remembered I had to get up early the next morning. I'm like, man, nah, I'm going to go to the crib. I was like, man, I gotta be up at 7:30, which I did. I had to get to my mom's crib early in the morning because she needed me to do something. So I'm like, all right. I was like, I'm gonna go to the crib. He was like, well, I'll drop you off. I'm like, nah, I'm gonna walk. Which from Uptown Towers to my spot, walking, maybe 15 minutes. I needed to clear my head anyway. It's about 3 o'clock in the morning. I ain't worried about nobody bothering me. So I'm like, I'm gonna walk to the crib. He like, you sure? He's like, I'll drop you. I'm like, nah, it's cool. So he was like, all right, I'm about to go up here and crash. He was like, I'm gonna hit you up in the morning. I'm like, all right, bet. So I go to the crib, pass out, get up, go take care of what I need to take care of my mother. I come back downtown. Now I had another boy named Pop who had a shoe store at the time. So I go see Pop. We hanging out, we talking. I'm telling him about the night before. I'm telling him about the song and all that shit. So he was like, look, can you give me some copies of the song? He was like, maybe I can sell them in here in the store to the little young cats that come in. I'm like, oh, okay, bet. So I called my boy T. I'm like, man, let me call T so I can get some copies. He like, all right. So I called him, he don't answer. I'm like, all right, cool. He probably doing something. I hit him back. I run a few more errands and then I'm at the crib. While I'm at the house, at my crib, I say, you know what? I need to go to Family Dollar and buy some cleaning supplies. Because one of my things that I like to do at the time was mop my floor. So I'm like, I need to mop my floor. So I'm like, I'm going to run to Family Dollar and get this, and then I'm going to come back to the crib. While I'm at Family Dollar, my phone rings. My boy PC. He like, what's up, Mike? I'm like, what's up? I'm like, what you got going on? He like, nothing. I'm like, man, that shit was a ball last night. You should have came. I was like, man, they played the cut. People was fucking with it. He's not saying anything. So I'm just going on and on. And he like, Mike. I'm like, what's up? He's like, you ain't heard, huh? I'm like, heard what? Like, man, that nigga T got shot. I'm like, huh? He was like, T got shot this morning. I'm like, no. I was like, nah, you gotta be thinking of somebody else. He was like, nah. He was like, T. Like, he got shot early this morning about like 6 o'clock. I'm like, that's impossible. I said, because he was in the spot. He went up to the spot by himself. He said, yeah. He said, you remember them young boys from Kentucky that used to come through to cop from? I said, yeah. He said, they came by this morning, knocked on the door. He opens up the door. It's like they shot him up. I'm like, huh? He said, yeah. I said, wait a minute. Why? He was like, shit, they got tired of copping work from him. They wanted his spot. This was they shot to be the man. I'm like, huh? He said, yeah, they went to the crib. They shot him up. So they're trying to save him right now at University Hospital. So I get off the phone and I'm in the store. And when he's telling me this, I'm at the counter about to pay for my stuff. And I'm like in a fog. Like I can't believe it. I'm in disbelief. And I remember the lady saying, baby, you all right? And I said, no. She said, you need help? You need something? I said, my boy just got shot. And she was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And I ain't know what to do. Because I started thinking like, I should have been in that apartment. Or I could have been in that apartment when that shooting happened. But I went home. And I was just like, damn. Like, how crazy is this? And I called his girlfriend, and she was like, Mike, he fighting right now. She was like, they shot him 5 times. He got shot in the thigh, the hand, the head, and in the stomach. Well, the stomach and the side. And she was like, there's police out here. Can't nobody come see him. And I'm like, what? Some days passed, and he was bad off. And I went by the hospital, and I got to go in. And I walked in the room, And I just seen him laying in the bed. And it didn't make sense to me. And I was just like, damn. I thought about him. I thought about, I could have been there, whatever. And I remember getting to the parking lot about to leave the hospital and being like, damn. Everybody trying to take their own shot. Everybody want their own shot.
When they used to hold hands. When they used to hold